In this video, I want to give some of my tips to help improve your stage presence. My name is Leah Lorette, and I've been in the adult entertainment industry for 14 years. I have worked across modalities from adult content to gentlemen's clubs, strip clubs, travel dancing, and pro-doming. So my first tip is in regards to your attitude or energy, your aura, whatever you want to call it. This is partly your energetic presence. It is partly how you are visually storytelling on stage, in the way that you're utilizing the stage, your props, the pole, how you're moving around the stage, or your choreography. And it is partly your energy, your presence, your vibe, your aura, expressed in a way to help engage with the audience, to evoke a feeling in them. One of the worst things to see is when you walk into a strip club and the girl on stage, the dancer on stage, looks bored out of her mind, looks like she doesn't want to be there, looks like she could literally be anywhere else in the world and would prefer that. That does not engage positively with the audience in a way that makes them want to participate. And in the strip club, especially, we want audience participation, right? We want to draw in the audience. We have two goals when we are on stage. The first goal is to be seen. It is your billboard, it is your advertisement to every single customer in that club to advertise you visually, potentially to sell dances, right? The next stage from that would be then to sell you your personality to them. But the very first thing that they're going to see is you walking around the club, you on stage, you interacting with other customers. And so you have to be really aware of how you are present in the space, but particularly when you are performing on stage. Now, the second reason is we're trying to make money, right? One of our money makers in the club is on stage. Now, if you're a burlesque dancer, burlesque performer, this kind of depends on the venue that you're in, right? If you're a more audience interactive venue where you get to actually walk out into the crowd, people might be able to tip you as you're walking through the crowd. If you're performing on stage, you may or may not get tips. You might get tips at the end. It kind of depends. But in the club, we want to get tips. We want people throwing money on the stage, and no one will throw money for a bored stripper. So when you walk out on stage, when you are wiping the pole down with your alcohol rag, when you are transitioning from side of the stage to the pole, pole to the floor, floor to the tip rail, and back again, when you're doing floor work, when you're on the pole, you want to be exuding whatever vibe you want the audience to feel, right? You want to have a good attitude. And also, it doesn't matter if you can even dance. When I met my wife in the club, we were both dancers, and they didn't really know how to dance, but they got on stage with a smile, made frequent eye contact with the audience, kept smiling, and just genuinely looked like they were having a good time on stage. And they made money. And it helps that they were friendly, and it helps that they were pretty. But they didn't know really how to dance when they first started. They could get on stage and do a little body roll and twerk some ass, and that was about it. And all of it was about their stage presence and their vibe and their energy that they gave on stage. Now me, I am a good dancer. For me, it is a performance. It is me doing a dance, right? But for me, a big part of it is seduction. And so my vibe is not the friendly, cute girl next door. My vibe is seductive, the femme fatale. That is my vibe when I'm in the club. And so when I am on stage, That is the aura, that is the vibe that I am trying to give off. And even if you don't necessarily have a vibe, so to speak, in general, you don't want to look bored, you don't want to look like you're having a bad time. You want to look like you are at least happy to be there in some capacity. My next tip is eye contact. And less so making eye contact, which a lot of people, when they're talking about giving their advice on stage presence, it's less about making eye contact or holding or maintaining eye contact, particularly for us who are very neurodivergent. A lot of times that is hard, that is difficult. And it's more about how you utilize the eye contact that you do make, right? And part of that ties into engaging with the audience, which is going to be kind of an overarching tip or theme for this video. When you are making eye contact, well, first of all, you want to make some eye contact. You don't want to make zero eye contact with anyone while you're on stage. I don't care if you make eye contact with another dancer on the floor. I don't care if you make eye contact with your floor guy when he's sweeping up your money in the middle of your stage set. I don't care if you make eye contact with someone in the audience. People will see you make that eye contact, and they will see and watch your vibe and your energy and your aura when you make that eye contact. You could make eye contact with someone and smile and be really friendly and just give them a quick little and then go on about your business. Or you can be more seductive with it and you can be doing something where like your eyes are downcast and you're kind of feeling it. You even close your eyes a little bit and then you open your eyes and you make eye contact in a very sultry, seductive, and intentional way with one person. You can also kind of be scanning the room while you're on stage and kind of gradually just, scanning the room. And so it looks like you're kind of looking at everybody, and then pick one person who's watching you and make intentional eye contact, even just a moment. You don't have to hold it very long. If someone is at your tip rail, that is typically when I would hold a little bit longer, deeper eye contact. Now, I am someone who struggles very much with holding eye contact. I can hold eye contact with people when they are speaking to me, but not when I am speaking. You see me in this video, my eyes are all over the place. Doesn't matter that this is a camera, I can't hold eye contact with it while I am speaking. But when I'm on stage, I am making intentional choices in how I am using my eyes and how I am holding eye contact with who, when, and where in order to really build tension or seduction or connection with people in my audience. And as you build connection with people in your audience, that builds interest. So our first way to start building interest with our audience in us, because remember, we want to sell a dance, right? We want to make money. We want people to come tip us. So first step is our presence on stage, the aura that we're giving, that we look like we want to be there, right? We look like we're having a good time, whatever that means to us, right? It can be bubbly and boisterous, or it can be very like seductive and like you're there, you're hunting, right? Are you there trying to make a friend? Are you there hunting and trying to, you know what I mean by that? You can play around with that. Now, our second piece to that of this pyramid that we're building, right, is making a quick connection with somebody. And sometimes making just a moment of that intentional eye contact is all they need, is all you need to close a sale or to get the invitation to approach a customer after you get off stage, or when you're walking around the room and you're scanning the room and seeing who's there and what they're doing and who's sitting with who and where are they sitting. Are they by the stage, away from the stage? Do they already have a dancer with them? You're taking all of that information in when you're on stage, when you walk out from the dressing room onto the floor, when you're sitting at the bar, watching as people come in, get their drink, take a seat. You're taking all of this information in. And at any point when you're scanning and you make eye contact with somebody, you see someone looking at you, and you hold that eye contact just enough for them to know that you noticed them looking at you and you made that connection intentionally, even if you keep scanning. But you can use that. It is your visual hook, if you want to use online social media business marketing terms. That is your visual hook, okay? So our third piece to this, and your presence on stage, your presence on the floor, any of that. Musicality and body/spatial awareness, okay? Now, a lot of people are kind of born with this innate sense of musicality in their body, but it can be learned. I am someone who just has it innately, but I have seen and I have taught other people to embody it, to figure it out, to learn how to find the music in your body. And being able to do that is key to being able to freestyle, okay? I don't choreograph. I have nearly never choreographed a dance in my life. I think the only time I've choreographed loosely was for a few burlesque performances in a club and one belly dance showcase that I did, where I did a full actual choreography. Generally, I utilize musicality, the music that is coming on stage, and when I go on stage, because you don't always get to dance to the music that you pick or the music that you want to dance to, and the stage that I'm performing on. Every club that I've ever been in has had a different kind of stage. Different clubs have main stage, satellite stage, VIP stage, and so you have to change and adjust, sometimes on the fly. And if you've been in the same club for a long time, things become innate muscle memory. You don't have to think about it anymore. But particularly when you get into a new club, you have to learn all of those things. And so you're learning how long it takes you to get from the dressing room to the stage, from the stairs to the stage to the pole, how long it takes you to get around a tip rail. Okay, those are things that you kind of learn as you are working. But musicality is this sense of the music and what the music is going to do next. And so you can time your freestyled movements to what you sense the music is going to do next. And this kind of comes down into feeling the rhythm or the beat of the song. It also comes down to the different pieces of the song, like there's a bridge and a chorus, and a lot of times they'll repeat, and there will be oftentimes a drop within the first 30 seconds to a minute of a song. And you can start to feel into the music, and be able to time your dance moves and what you're doing on stage. That kind of ties into this sense of you have to have body awareness to be able to do that. And then you also have to have spatial awareness of your body in space, your body on the stage, the space of the stage or the floor, the room, wherever you are. All of those tie in together, and it takes a lot of practice, and I can go into a lot more on that than this video. But as you develop those skills, as you develop that musicality, that sense of the music, that sense of where the music is going, and your spatial body awareness, people start to notice that, and it really increases your presence on stage. And I have had people comment on it, like literally comment on it, because they could see it, they could tell. And I could have been dancing to songs that I didn't know, but I looked like I did. And that is because of musicality, that sense of what the music is doing, and that also allows you to be able to dance to any music your DJ throws at you, which is a huge benefit and makes you really attractive in the eyes of a club, of like the manager team, when you don't box yourself into a single genre of music, and it also increases your capacity to get clients or customers, like people to buy a dance, when you have a broader range of what you will dance to. Now, a tip that kind of ties into that is utilizing the stage, utilizing the whole stage. One of my first home clubs was a huge double pole stage. 27 people could sit at the tip rail. And if you just stay on one pole and just stay at that pole, it gives lack of confidence. It gives lack of interest in the audience and lack of engagement in the audience. And so I learned to be able to go from pole to pole across the stage, walking, going from pole to pole across the stage, doing floor work. And I learned to be able to time the tip rail. You get 3 songs to dance for 27 people, right? When that tip rail was full of Marines that were there at 7 p.m., a line out the door because they have curfew at 10 and they have to be back at the barracks for their inspection or whatever, they were on that. And so you had to be on that. And utilizing the whole stage, being able to work the whole tip rail, being able to move confidently around the stage. Part of it is balance and learning to walk in your heels. Part of it is being able to use your body awareness and your spatial awareness and your musicality of where are these beats going to fall in this song? How long do I have in this song? In order to do that and to move around gracefully, elegantly, sexily, confidently. And that is a super big key to your presence and your aura on stage is confidence. If you look super nervous, if you are scared, if you are bored, anything like that really turns people off to you and you on stage and you as a performer and you as a dancer and someone that they might want to get a dance from. And so practicing and learning and building up that confidence ties into all of this. When you are using the whole stage and working the whole stage or working the floor, again, if you are a performer that can go out onto the floor, that can be interactive with the audience, you don't want to just stand in one place or with one customer. You want to move around and show multiple people interest, okay? And also with the whole tip rail thing, give attention to the people who have money out first. Doesn't matter if you have a full tip rail, you don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If first person, third person, and fifth person have dollar bills out, those are the people you go to first. And everyone else in the room sees, oh, they work for money. And it encourages person number 2 and person number 4 to pull out money. And if they still don't pull out money, you smile at them, maybe kind of like a teasing sort of smile, and you go back to the pole. Or you go back to person number 5 who pulled out another dollar bill. And also, another tip for this, if person 1 and person 3 have dollar bills, but person 5 has a 20 on your stage, you absolutely go to him first and you spend the longest with him, okay? But all of that all ties in together. Lastly, is the idea of engaging the audience. Now, all of these tips that I've been giving you ultimately lend themselves to engaging the audience. How are you engaging the audience with your vibe, with your energy, the aura that you're giving off on stage, your presence on stage? How are you engaging the audience with your eye contact, with your lack of eye contact, or the type of eye contact that you're making? And how are you utilizing it? That's the most powerful part about the eye contact, is how are you utilizing your eye contact to engage with the audience? Your musicality and your spatial awareness and your body awareness, a way that you can use that to engage with your audience is you make eye contact, someone is watching you, you know they're watching you, you're twerking, you look at them, you look down So this is how you're utilizing the eye contact, right? You look where you want them to look. They will follow your eyes down to your booty. And because you know they're watching, you pop, pop, pop to those next 3 beats that you hear of the music. And then the client, the customer, is like, oh my God, how did you do that? It was so on beat. And they get excited and then they throw money, okay? And using the whole stage, again, we already talked about this. How are you engaging the audience while you are working the floor, working the stage, what have you, okay? Are you giving a little bit of extra attention or a little bit extra eye contact? One of the things that I really like to do is if I was using my eye contact very sparingly throughout my stage set, when someone is tipping me and I'm dancing for them at the tip rail, I will hold eye contact with them longer than I have with anyone else, okay? And so that's making this a very private moment between us in front of all of these people, right? And then other people see that and they're like, I want that. And then they come up to the stage or they pull you aside later to get a dance. The whole point of all of this is to positively engage with the audience in a way that makes them want to spend money on you. Or, depending on how you're performing and the venue that you're performing in, if you're burlesque, dancing, stripping, what have you, also just the idea of giving a performance. People come into these spaces, they come into your review, they come into your club to have an experience and to be entertained. Ultimately, that is what you're selling. You are selling you as the entertainer, but ultimately what they are buying is an entertainment, is an experience. And so all of this is to help increase your capacity to do that and to improve the offering that you're giving, the entertainment or the experience that you are giving, so that you have happy, excited, fulfilled customers who want to keep spending money on you. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any other tips, I would love for you to leave them in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, all the buttons everywhere. It really helps. And if you have any questions or other content that you would like to see or a piece of this that you would like me to dive deeper in, please let me know in the comments below. And I will see you next time.